And Victoria, whatever your middle name is, Schwab, how could you do this to me? How could you lead me on this journey that I was not prepared for? Is it my fault that I wasn't prepared? Maybe. Hello, Bookish Baddies, and welcome back to Bookish Chaos. I'm Shay, and today we are talking about... That doesn't help. That might be backward. Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. I just finished it. This video is not going to have a script. This video is in need of my yellow paper that I did at work. Uno momento, por favor. Maybe not. It might be in the book. It was in the book. These are my bare bones notes that I took at work. So this was fun. Oh, this chair is... The setup is not perfect. The setup is just what we have going for us right now. It is not good. It is not good. Everything is moving. I'm like cutting my head off and we might still be a little slanted. It's fine. Okay, so this book, when you start out, you are in Maria's POV. We are in Spain and it is 1532. This book has multiple POVs. We start with Maria, then we have Alice. Alice's POV is in 2019. So Maria is a Spanish girl from Spain, and Alice is a Scottish girl in college in the States. A little further in, so we go through Maria's journey, and we learn about Maria. She is going to be forced to marry because it is 1532. And she decides that a foreign viscount is the perfect way to do it. So she essentially seduces him a little bit to make him fall in love with her. Because she's like, if I have to be married off, I'm going to pick the person that I'm going to marry. I don't want to be subject to what everybody else wants. I want whatever I can get, as much freedom as I can get, blah, 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 blah. Maria is a little/a lot into girls. But in this current situation, that's not something she can have. She does at one point fall in love with her handmaiden. And I don't remember because it's been a while since I read the beginning part of this book. It was just a lot and I needed to take a break. But I don't remember if her husband sends this girl away or if his parents do. Because he's like the Viscount to be technically, because his parents are still alive. Either way. While we're in Maria's POV, we meet someone named the Widow. And she befriends the Widow. And the Widow is like, do you want freedom? I can give you freedom. And she's like, you can give me freedom? How? And this is where I realized this book is about vampires. I went in blind. I had no idea what this book was about. I just heard that V.E. Schwab was a good author. And so I was like, sure, I'll take it. Give me the book. It's about vampires. Fun fact. So, when we're in Alice's POV, Alice is a very shy girl. She is in college in the States, in Boston. And we don't know much of her history. We get flashbacks for everybody throughout the book. Alice meets a girl with dark hair that's kind of dyed purple. And she's like, I'm really into this girl. And they have a night. And then when Alice wakes up in the morning, she's dead. She's a vampire. And she's like, I gotta hunt this girl down because what the fuck happened to me? She like wakes up covered in blood, all that fun stuff. No, we're not there yet. God damn it. In one of our later Maria chapters, when Maria finally is like, okay, I want to be free. Do what you can for me. Sabine is like, okay, I'll turn you. And then Maria's like, I'm extremely hungry. And Sabine's like, I know what you need. Here. And she's like, perfect. I'll take it. Oh, wait, just kidding. I'm going to take all of it. And so she immediately kills Sabine. And that should have been my first red flag that Maria as a person was a psychopath. That was not, it did not work out in my favor that way, though. God damn it, I gotta stop kicking that. I'm kicking the stand that you're currently on. I didn't see it. I didn't see it. Anyway, okay, about halfway through, we get a chapter that's called Charlotte And I was like, who the fuck is Charlotte? I don't want this to be a really in-depth deep dive. This is just a, oh my God, you need to read this book review. So I went in blind. It was a pleasant surprise that it was vampires. The writing is immaculate. Immaculate. The book is slow paced. I will give that, because we start out in Maria's head, and then we jump into Alice's head, and we're like, what is happening with these two? We just appear in their lives where they're currently at. So we do get flashbacks because we need to understand their backstory, and the flashbacks are very important. While it is slow paced, it is not a slog in that way that it's slow paced. But if you hate slow paced books, don't read this book, because it's not fast paced in any form of the word. It is really, really good. Her writing, like I said, is immaculate. The end surprised me. I did not see that coming. It's not a happily ever after, but it is tied together in a tidy little bow. I don't think I'm going to do a deep dive on this book, because I want you to read this book. I don't want to tell you what happens in this book. I want you to just go and read this book and fall in love with it, because it is amazing. Her writing is amazing. I have some stuff marked. Let's see what that is. I'm just going to read you one line from the book, because I want you to understand how her writing is and how amazing it is. So we're in Maria's chapter in this point of view. It is so commonplace, so plain, like starched linens when she dreams of silk. She hates the way it sounds in her mother-in-law's mouth, like a sharp tug on a short chain. She's talking about hearing her name in her mother-in-law's mouth. Her mother-in-law is a very terrible person, and everybody hates Maria's riotous red hair. I'm into it. I love it. I'm telling you, you need to read this book. It is amazing. It is the thing that you don't know that you need in your life. I am so glad that I finished it before the year was over, because I was too in it and I needed a break. So I took a break and I read some other things. I read some nonfiction. I read just some stuff. I reread some stuff. I needed a different headspace. I'm not real good with historical things. So getting through the Maria and then Sabine chapters and starting in the Charlotte chapters, and then things got real messy between Sabine and Charlotte, and I was like, I need to take a break. I'm going to trigger warn you for this book that I didn't look up and see if there were any trigger warnings, and I don't think there are any in the beginning of the book. Because it's not like a dark romance or anything like that. No, there's not. For the sanity of you, my viewers, I will tell you that Sabine gets very abusive. Not physically, really. There's a couple physical things, like shoving her up against a wall, digging her fingers into her arms, things like that. No, like, outright or anything. She is very emotionally abusive. She is very good at gaslighting. She is not a good person. So if that is a thing that you can't handle, don't read it, because Sabine is awful. She is awful, and I didn't see it, and I should have seen it way back when we were in Maria's chapters. But you start out the book, and Maria is she's stuck in 1532. That's where she lives. That's her timeline, and she just wants freedom. She just wants to be able to explore and do the things that her brothers can do, and you just feel for her. You feel for her that she shouldn't have to live this way, because we shouldn't have to live this way, and a lot of us don't have to live that way anymore. And so it tugged on my heartstrings in a way that made me blind to who she really was underneath it all, even after she murders her husband, even after she murders Sabine, the original OG, original chicken, Sabine, and assumes her position as Sabine. She does you do meet other vampires in this book. She meets a really sweet vampire named Mateo. Mateo teaches her control. He teaches her how to enjoy the hunt. He teaches her how to build a life and not just massacre everything constantly. And Mateo's story is very sad. It's very sad. I was actually happy when we left Venice, when we left Mateo, because he has a human lover and his human lover dies. And he loses his mind in like a really crazy way. And I was not prepared for it, and I was not okay with it. And I was like, Sabine, you gotta GTFO, because I don't know what's happening to this guy. You gotta get out. You gotta get out, girl. And she does. She does get out. She does leave. You meet another couple, Antonia and Jack, I think is his name. We meet a vampire named Ezra. I like Ezra. I like Antonia and Jack. And when she's with Antonia and Jack, that should have been the other red flag. Sabine is crazy. But until you get into Charlotte's POVs, until Alice confronts Charlotte, because Charlotte is who she hooks up with, and she ends up dead, we find out. While Charlotte is to explain Sabine, she has to tell their whole story. So a lot of the end of Charlotte's chapters are us learning about her relationship with Sabine. I don't remember where I was going with that. That's why I need a script. Oh my God. Anyway, yeah, this book ended in a way that I wasn't prepared for. Sabine sucks. If you absolutely wanted a deep dive, I could do it, but I really want you to just read this book. Just read this book and fall in love with it. And Victoria, whatever your middle name is, Schwab, how could you do this to me? How could you lead me on this journey that I was not prepared for? Is it my fault that I wasn't prepared? Maybe. She is amazing. She might be my new buy anything from this author, because, oh God, her writing, it's so beautiful. It's so poetic. She can do the flowery purple prose, and it doesn't sound terrible. It doesn't sound forced. It is wonderful, as you heard from that excerpt that I read from the book. But I have got to stop rambling. I have been rambling at you for 15 minutes. Read this book. You need to read this book. Share this video. Make sure that you like and subscribe to the video, subscribe to the channel. And if you don't subscribe, you are not a bookish baddie. You are just a person who likes books, and that's fine if you are fine with not being a baddie. But if you would like to be a baddie, subscribe to my channel. It will make your day. All right, until next time. Bye, guys.